Welcome back to the New Little Life channel. If you're new here, my name is Allison Tolman. I'm a breast pump expert and an IBCLC. We have tested a lot of breast pumps, over 100, with our custom testing device over the years. And there is one that we're going to review today. It's the Philips Avent. And I've been seeing this pop up on a lot of insurance lists, and there's not a lot of content out there reviewing this pump. So let's talk about it in this video. We're going to do a review on this pump if you're looking to purchase it. I also will do a quick walkthrough if you already have this pump and are using it and how it works and functions. If pumping is going to be part of your journey at all, make sure you're subscribed to the New Little Life channel. Pumping support, reviews, tips, tricks, milk supply around pumping, that is our main focus here. So if you're going to be pumping at all, you'll want to be tuned into this channel. There are also going to be a lot of links for you in the description. Free things that we offer, choosing a breast pump courses, and also our DIY courses on how to pump more efficiently. Because choosing your breast pump is really step one. Then you need to figure out how does it work best for your body so you can get more milk in less time. That's our goal. All right, let's jump into this pump. I feel like Philips tends to name their pumps all really similar things. Philips Avent, and that can be talking about a manual hand pump. It can be talking about previous models. They're not really good at differentiating. So this one on their website says double electric breast pump, advanced. All right, but it looks like this. It comes in a bag like this. So you've probably seen that on the pictures and things. It has some really interesting things about it, one of which is the Flange style. So actually, let's just start there because I think this is an interesting part to talk about, and then we'll run through the pump functions. Actually, the pump functions are nothing fancy, right? It's this flange kit, I think, that really makes this pump unique. And again, it was really hard to find user reviews and things like that on this pump. The reviews on their website are not awesome. Can I just be honest there? You're welcome to go look for yourself. But a lot of people struggle with this pump. It's also $269 today, as I'm saying that. I would never in a million years pay full price for this pump. However, the reason I chose to do a review on it is because I'm seeing it a lot as options on insurance lists for people. So let's talk about it. This flange kit is designed to be a compression style. So it's kind of a one size fits all. They don't have different sizes of it. And it's really thin silicone. So it's going to be compressing the nipple as it pumps. It's a fine idea in theory. Let me show you what it looks like here. While I'm getting this set up, actually, this is one of the few pumps. I am not currently lactating, but this is one of the few pumps that I put on my nipple because TMI, I'm smaller than a 24. I think I'm about a 17. And so I really wanted to see how a smaller nipple would fit in this under suction. And it wasn't awesome, I will say that. It's really compressing a lot of the areola, like the nipple wasn't moving much, which in my opinion is kind of important when we're pumping. And that's why we talk about so much about flange sizing is you want the nipple to be moving and stretching in a particular way. If nothing's touching the nipple, it's not going to do what it needs to do. We actually teach you how to do self-flange sizing in our Pumping Efficiently course and can walk you through that. But let me just turn this on here and kind of show you on this sample here. I'm going to go on expression mode so it's a little bit slower. Okay, so you can see that it's compressing, but this nipple is smaller than a 24 too, as are most of you. I don't see 24 or bigger very often, to be honest. So you can see that the nipple is not really moving here, but the areola is. I also found that this lip here, this, I don't even know what you'd call that divot in the silicone was really weird. And it pulled the tissue in funny and kind of left a divot there. I don't know why they did that with that little divot right there. So that's how the flange is going to function. Again, it's a compression style, but I think if you are smaller than like 20, I felt like there was nothing on the nipple. I also got my mannequin out here because I think this is going to be a little bit tricky to get in a pumping bra just because these outer things are hard. Let's just pop this in and see. Okay, well, it actually fits better than I thought it would. So it does fit in there. Takes some finagling to get it right, but those outer shells are a little bit odd to me, but looks like it does fit okay. Bottle's fine, backflow protector's fine, whatever. This one does actually come with a converter so that you can convert it to a manual pump by popping on that handle right there. And now it's a manual pump, so all same parts there, which is kind of cool. Again, though, you're kind of limited to that awkward flange, which honestly, I would love to hear if anyone has used that. It comes with a cover because this is really sticky and it's going to collect dust a lot. So you'll want to keep that cover for sure. If anyone has actually used that flange kit with success or not, please comment down below and tell us. So just for fun, I wanted to hook it up to just a generic kind of Spectra-style flange to see if it got the same suction, and it does. I was able to get like 225 as max suction with that other flange, and that's 225-ish. And here's what I'm getting with the Spectra one as well. You could probably switch it out and use a Spectra-style if you wanted, which if I had this pump is what I would do. That also brings up another interesting point about this pump, which is there were many, I don't want to say many, but there were definitely some user reports that this pump did not have a long life, that it died on them before they were done with their pumping experience. So if you're going to use parts that don't go with this pump, you're going to void your warranty. So that's just something to consider. And just based on comments online, this pump is not known for being really long and high quality pump. Let's talk about the modes, because we ran it through our BPVMS, our BB barometer, as you guys like to call it, and we got lots of data settings. I would say that this pump functions pretty fast. So in stimulation mode, which is, let me start this again. Simulation mode is this little symbol right here. It's running about 120 cycles per minute, which is good. And it only goes down to about 105. So it's staying above 100 for any vacuum that you're on. In expression mode, so there is stimulation mode. It does auto switch after 2 minutes. Oh, hang on, it has to be working, sorry. And it's not the quietest pump, as you can tell. In expression mode, it is pretty fast, I feel like, for a lot of expression modes, 56 to 86. But the thing is that it stays fast for quite a long time. It has 16 vacuum levels in expression mode and 8 in stimulation mode. And 16 vacuum levels is cool. That doesn't mean that it goes higher or is better than other pumps. It just means that you can adjust it on a more micro level, if that makes sense. The max suction I was able to get on this pump was about 225, which is probably fine. Unless you need high suction, then that is not going to work for you, but it will be okay. I feel like everything about this pump is kind of just okay, except for the flange kit, which jury's still out on that. So there are only 2 modes. It is not hard to use. You're going to start in stimulation mode. It's going to auto switch at 2 minutes. You can also switch it on your own if you have a letdown in that time, and then go into expression mode. It will remember your settings if you turn it on the next time. It should just start on the same ones you did last time. It says there's a memory feature, but I don't see anywhere where you can program that. I think it just remembers. So if it remembers wrong, I don't know, manually switch it up, I guess. It does have 2 ports right here, and I was testing the suction on it because I was curious if you had to double pump with it. Most of you are double pumping anyway, but I hooked one up to here and I was able to get the max suction with nothing hooked here. So I think these are pretty independent of each other, which is kind of nice. I mean, most of you are going to be double pumping anyway, so shouldn't be any issues there. It's not the quietest pump, as you can tell. It's even a little bit louder when I set it on my desk. It will be a little quieter in general when you do have it hooked up to tissue and working that way, so there's something to note. It did come with a few things. This is a little fanny pack that you can wear around your waist and put your pump in, which is actually pretty cool. Came with some bottle nipples as well. Let's look at them and see. Ooh, yeah, don't love that nipple. So if you're pumping, you're probably going to be bottle feeding as well. There is bottle feeding information and resources in our milk supply course, because if you're pumping milk, you are going to need to feed with a bottle. This is not a nipple. I would recommend put on my blue shirt so you can see it. There's that for you. Okay, so I know this was a pretty short review and walkthrough, but the pump is actually pretty simple. I think overall, if you already have this pump, there are definitely ways to make it work for you. If you do not have this pump, it is probably not one that I will recommend for you. Sometimes though, and here's the caveat, sometimes when we're looking at a list that insurance covers, either through a DME or directly through your insurance, sometimes we're kind of choosing between a lot of okay options. Sometimes we're choosing between bottom of the barrel options, to be honest. Anytime you have less expensive pumps, those are the ones that DME and insurance are going to want to cover. So sometimes I will say that the Philips Avent might be one of the better options based on a list of okay/bad options. Does that make sense? So sometimes our hands are tight a little bit, and this pump I think will function fine. It's pretty simple to use. The flange kit might be a little funny, but you can switch it out with the Spectra or a more generic style if you really need to make this pump work well for you. Again, just remember those things we talked about earlier. Otherwise, if you are cash paying for a pump, this is not probably one that I would pay $269 for. I think you can get a coupon on their website too, but I don't know. If you're still choosing a breast pump, there's a really great free quiz down below for you that will help guide you to some of our favorite breast pumps based on what you need. There's really no perfect pump for everybody, which is why that quiz. We also have a free course on choosing a breast pump, which is even better. If you don't really understand any of the terminology I was talking about, cycle speeds or suction strengths or anything like that, our free course will walk you through that as well. If you have this pump and you're struggling with output, I highly recommend our Pumping Efficiently course. That will walk you through all of the aspects of pumping, because if you have a medium quality pump like this might be, you'll want to make sure that every aspect of pumping fits you personally and is working well and efficiently. That's how you're going to maximize the output that you can get, even with a medium quality pump. I have seen many clients of mine and students in our courses be able to sustain their milk supplies with maybe a non-ideal pump. Again, pumping correctly is so important. If you have any questions or if you've used this pump before, leave me a comment down below so that we can all learn together. All right, thanks for being here and happy pumping.